Hey ID, you guys are going to be working on activity 1.3.4, so I decided to make a video since we weren't all on the same spot and we were having issues with the constraints, because what you're finding as you're sketching out these polygons, some of us are going to have to remove some constraints because they automatically apply, and it just really depends where you start your work plane at, and then also where you place your polygons at. So real quickly here, I'm going to referring back and forth to this document. This is what's in your Google Classroom. This is what we're going to sketch out, these polygons, and then you guys are going to snip the final sketch before you click on Finish Sketch. Snip it and copy and paste it into here. So, excuse me. Let me move this over to the side so I can see it on my other screen. And then let's go into Fusion. So you're going to start a new sketch, and I had already drawn out your 4x6. So let me do this. I'm going to start all over, completely fresh. So I'm going to start a new sketch, click on a work plane. I'm going to use the rectangle tool. When you click on the rectangle tool, over here, this menu here pops out. You want to make sure that you select the center rectangle tool. We're going to create a 4x6. So I'm going to click on the center of my, or on the origin. I'm going to click, left click, and just drag it out. And you'll notice if you just let go the mouse and don't touch it, wherever your blue dimension is on, that's the one that you can dimension on. So I can actually just type it in instead of having to use the mouse to size it a 4x6. So this dimension is going to be 6 inches. And then this one's going to be, if you tab and then you hit 4 and hit enter. Okay, so let's talk about if you are not in inches and you are in millimeters. Okay, you need to come over here, click on this triangle, click, or you hover over here, and you're going to click on this little notepad with the pencil on it. This menu pops out to the side. You need to make sure you switch this over to inches. Okay, mine's already on inches, so I don't have to change that out. All right, next thing we're going to do, we're going to click on the Create a Polygon. We're going to start with the Inscribed Polygon, and just click anywhere here in the second quadrant, start drawing it out. Okay, so it starts moving, right? So right now it is on my dimension for the radius. So I'm just going to let go of the mouse. I'm going to type 0.35. I'm going to hit the tab, and it wants a pentagon. So pentagon is 5 sides, so we're going to enter the 5, and then we're going to enter. Next, we're going to sketch out another polygon, but the inscribed polygon, and this one needs to be a hexagon. So I'm going to sketch that in the first quadrant. I'm going to let go of my mouse, and I'm going to type 0.25, hit tab. Actually, I don't have to tab. I can just hit enter because it's already set to 6 sides. Next, I'm going to use the polygon edge polygon tool. This one's going to be used to draw that triangle in the 4th quadrant. So I'm just going to left click, drag it down, and let go. It, depending on how if you let go or if you stay in that tool, you want to just look at what's highlighted. Since my radius is highlighted, that's not what I want to adjust. I'm going to hit the tab so that I can go to the dimension and type 1.25. Hit enter. And then if you move your mouse either left or right, this comes up. Okay, this allows us to change the sides. So if you see where the 6 is highlighted in blue, I'm just going to type a 3 and hit enter, and it sets it there for me. Okay, I'm going to hold down the scroll wheel, hold it and drag it, and just kind of move this over to the side so that I can see it, because I have this menu in the way. Okay, now we're going to add some constraints. So first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my line tool, and I'm going to turn on my construction line. Over here on the right hand side in the sketch palette, this turns on your construction line, and I'm just going to go ahead and create a construction line over the y-axis, and you'll know you're on there because you'll see the little midpoint triangle. So click, drag it down, and come down to the bottom of that line, and then you can right click and select OK. Okay, ID. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to apply the horizontal tool to this pentagon. So click on your horizontal, vertical. So we're going to click on this bottom side, and it should straighten it up. Okay, the next time we're going to do, we're going to apply the coincident constraint, which is this one. We're going to apply, what we're going to do, we're going to apply it to the bottom of this line, and then we're going to click on the construction line that we just added Now, if it doesn't apply it, then that means that we need to add some of these constraints that are on here that I see around it. There might be that your Pentagon is already on the diagonal line and it's coincident to that line, or it's parallel from this line to one of the sides. So we might have to delete those. So if you run into that, then you'll just need to go through and do one at a time and then try it again and see which one works. All right, so click on your coincident constraint. We're going to click at the bottom of that line, and then we're going to, okay, so mine is not allowing me to click on it. Okay, so I kind of figured that was going to happen. So I'm going to hit my escape key. I'm going to go through, I'm actually going to delete this constraint and see if that'll work. Nope, still don't. All right, so let me remove this one here. I think it's that one. So I'm going to coincident this to line. Nope, still doesn't work. So maybe I need to remove this one. So let's try that. This, no, it's still not working. All right, so let me try. Okay, let's see if we can find it. So the only other constraint I can see this one here. I'm going to delete it, and then I'm going to try it again. Coincident this and that. Okay, so that's not working. So then let's try to coincident the center point of it. Whoops, failed. Let me click on that. Okay. I'm gonna let me put the escape key, hit the coincident tool. I'm gonna take the center point and then apply it here. Okay, that worked. That's what we wanted to do. So now what we're gonna do, we're going to hit the escape key. Now I'm going to use the dimension tool, which is up here, and I'm gonna dimension the bottom of this to the origin, drag it out. And make sure whenever you're applying these dimensions, make sure your dimension is in the middle of your arrow. You don't want it to look like this or like that. It's off centered. So it's centered, and then I'm going to type 0.5 because they want it to be half an inch. All right, so it moves it down automatically. All right, I'm going to hit the escape key to get out of that dimension tool. Okay, so now you're going to apply the parallel constraint to the hex, one of the hex sides, and to the 6-inch line. So here's my parallel tool, and y'all might have done this yesterday, so I'm just gonna do it again, and it straightens it up that way. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna apply the coincident tool. The center of the hex to the diagonal line. It should place it on there. Oops, that didn't work. All right, so let me undo. Let's undo. Yes. Okay, so I deleted all the constraints. I'm going to go back and apply the parallel constraint because in the instructions it wants one of the sides of this hexagon to be parallel to the top 6-inch side. So I'm just going to click that one, make that parallel. Okay, so then the next thing it wants us to do is to use a coincident constraint and with the center of this hexagon to this diagonal line. So we do that, this happens. So I went through and I deleted a whole bunch of constraints, nothing happened. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just apply the horizontal constraint to this one, and it should fix it. Oh, it did. Hold on, let's see. Okay, it's so crooked. So this is what happened, how to zoom out. So let's go ahead and apply the parallel tool to this one and this one. Oops, there it goes. It fixed it. All right, so that's what that should look like. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to apply the dimension tool. We're going to dimension this to the center of the hex to the diagonal line. No. So this to here needs to be dimensioned, and it's going to be half an inch also. Okay, this should move it up. Okay, so now if you haven't applied the coincident tool, we're going to apply that to one of the corners of the triangle, and probably just this bottom corner, and make it coincident to this corner in the fourth quadrant. So you're going to apply your coincident constraint, click this point, and then click this, okay, and it moves it over. And then it wants us to coincident the center of the diagonal, or the center of the triangle to the diagonal line. So my coincident tool is still applied, so I click there, and I click the line, Okay, so it puts it right on there. Okay, so I noticed this dimension is wrong. I don't know if I put that in wrong or what happened, so I'm going to hit the escape key. I'm going to hit the escape key. I'm going to redimension this. That should be half an inch. Okay, oops, that didn't do what it's supposed to do. It should be from the bottom line to here. Okay. Okay, I know what's going on. We have to reapply the horizontal constraint to this bottom side. To do it, there it goes. All right, and then we can hit escape. I can redimension that to half an inch. There we go. That's what we should have. Okay. You're going to use your snipping tool. You're going to snip this entire sketch, and then that's what you're going to copy and paste into your Google Doc where I showed y'all earlier.